Okay, now for the part you've been waiting for all day. I'm going to explain the mystery. So, you've had a few experiences yesterday with the little footprints in the sand mystery, and then also today with the baseball mystery to just solve like some quick mysteries, make a claim, look for evidence, and support it. But now I'm going to introduce you to um, another sort of mysterious occurrence in the natural world, and you're going to use the same reasoning skills and argumentation skills that you did for the other two to really try to get to the bottom of what happens. Okay, so this takes place in Death Valley, California, and I'm just going to show you a quick. This is a Landsat image of Racetrack Playa, and this is the location of where it happens. If you look right in here, you can see that there's this little white area here that's kind of in the middle of some mountains, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So while working in Death Valley, California, which is this whole kind of area, scientists found rocks that looked like this. And also they found rocks that look like this. Huh. And this one, you can actually see there's another one there. In fact, they found examples like this sort of all over the place. So, what do you observe about these photos? What are some questions you have? And even though you don't have very much evidence yet, what claims do you think you could make about what's causing these rocks to move? What scientists wanted to know is this. The question is like what is causing these rocks to move? To answer this big question though, they're going to have to ask a lot of smaller questions, and sometimes answering these smaller questions that's going to help them explain what's happening to the rocks in the desert. So here's a couple of smaller questions that you could ask. How large and heavy are these rocks? Are there strong winds in this desert? How often does it rain in this desert? Is this desert flat or does it have hills? Did people or animals move the rocks? Did wind move the rocks? Did water move the rocks? Ultimately, what we're really doing here is we're answering the question that kind of is our claim. Our claim is that many large rocks in this desert are moving from one place to another. And, but how? How could that happen? Okay, but don't worry, you do not have to solve this mystery by yourself. Scientists have studied, um, even though we're not totally sure exactly what's causing this, scientists are studying the rocks out in Death Valley Desert, and they've made lots of observations. And these observations, which I will show you, are things that you can use to help yourself make a claim and support it with one of these observations, and then link that observation or evidence back to your claim with reasoning. So let's read through this list real quick. The area is almost perfectly flat. The area is dry. Almost no rain falls here. However, at some times of the year, for a few days, there's a lot of rain. There are some strong winds here, but not all the time. These rocks often weigh several hundred pounds. This area does not get a lot of human visitors. Although it's very hot and dry, many animals live in Death Valley, and the largest ones are vultures, snakes, and rabbits. People do visit this desert because it's such a beautiful place. It rains for a few weeks each year in this desert. When it rains, the ground is slippery and muddy. There are tire tracks on the edges of the desert from the trucks that come to drop off visitors and campers. No one has ever seen the sliding rocks move. The rocks that move are very heavy. One person alone could not move them. And finally, strong winds move through the desert many times during the year. I'd like you to pause the video right now and turn to your partner and discuss these evidences and observations and see which ones do you think might offer a clue about what's causing the rocks to move. All right, pause the video. Now that you and your partner have had an opportunity to talk about these observations, and you can always come back to this part of the video throughout part two, and you can also refer to this handout that you'll be getting from me, and all the evidence is listed right here on the front. But let's take a look at some claims that could be made based on the observations. So one claim you could make is animals moved the rocks. Another claim you could make is humans moved the rocks. A third claim you could make is wind moved these rocks. And a fourth claim you could make is water moved these rocks. You could also come up with another claim or make a combination of claims if you and your partner think that that would best answer the question of what is causing these rocks to move. So here's another shot of just some of the rocks, the movements that you can see. They're not always in a straight line. You can see that this one's pretty straight, but it kind of curves in the background. This one's kind of turning this way. There was a straight section. It kind of zigged that way and went there. This one you can see was traveling here, but at one point it was traveling a different way. And so these are all things that are observations that you're going to want to notice about this. Okay, so at this point, you and your partner need to look at the claims and create an argument that answers the question, what is causing these rocks to move? On the first page, you can see some pictures of the rocks that you'll be able to refer to, although you're always welcome to come back to the video and watch some of those pictures again. You'll also see possible claims, the ones that I listed here, and you can also see the list of evidence or the list of observations that can be used as evidence. And on this packet, I listed it as evidence. And then on the inside of this packet, you will find a diagram that looks like the same one that we used from part 1 of today's lesson. And it will have blank spaces for you to answer the question, what caused the rocks to move, and make your claim. So you'll list the claim that you think best answers that question. Once you and your partner are finished with this packet, then I will unlock part 3 for you and your partner. Part 3 has a couple of videos that are going to offer some ideas of what scientists think might be causing the rocks to move based on their observations, and you can see what you think about it. All right, good luck.